Welcome back to the Work in Progress podcast. I'm your host, Peter Wang. Today, I'm joined here by Christian and Victoria, founders of the first Kombucha brewery here in Temecula. We will hear how a health crisis led to a new and more accessible take on kombucha, going from garage to farmer's market to a full-fledged brewery. It's a story of resilience, purpose, and heart. Enjoy this episode. We're here in Temecula at the first kombucha brewery.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Kombucha.
Kombucha.
Kombucha, woof woof.
Here's to the first.
Hey, cheers.
Company.
Thanks you.
This episode is really special to me. We met a couple months ago.
Several months.
It's almost a year ago.
Since you almost took over.
I took over. Actually, I took over in June. The water plant in June.
Yeah, talk about it for a little second.
Victoria. Actually, I met you first.
Yes.
I took over water. I noticed you had a lot of. I remember she had so many. That's one thing I noticed.
Oh, yeah.
And you had that white.
My white Jeep.
Your Jeep.
Yeah.
La Jeepa.
Yeah, your Jeep, but you were quiet.
I was in work mode.
Victoria's always like that.
Out.
Work mode.
She's focused. Yeah.
And also, I had to feel you out because we liked the old owners. And I was like, not to say we weren't going to like the new one, but I was like, okay, who is this guy?
It's one Asian replacing the other.
But then you came in and you've been absolutely amazing. I'm so blessed to be your friend. I'm so happy what you're doing.
I remember the first conversation you and I had. Because came in and you're like, where's my business card? It's like, who is this person? And
Yeah, we had our business card taped on the
wall.
Yeah, on the little plexiglass right there. As it came out, I was like, what the heck? Then you got to introduce myself real quick. Hey, man, where's my business card?
We had a
It's
long
Christian.
conversation.
Woof, woof.
This episode is also the very first time we're doing a live recording on the podcast. I know we just the last 2 hours setting this up.
That is so cool.
I went flew by.
Yeah, it's so cool.
So if anything happens, there's also Ricky behind the camera. Hey, Ricky.
Ricky.
Ricky, why did you skip your physics class today?
This is better.
This is worth it.
Hey, woof, good answer, brother.
So, I want to know what's about this brewery. How did it come into existence in the first place?
From the very beginning?
Yeah, let's go back.
Okay. We've been together for almost 10 years. I was 19, he was 21. I was going to college for biology, and I met Mr. High School Dropout. You know.
Did he always have long hair like this?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Okay.
But this is his true calling. This is a recent thing. I got my degree in biology from UCSD. I was going to pursue either research or veterinary medicine, and veterinary medicine.
Oh, that's coconut.
Yes.
Talk about coconut.
Coconut,
This
woof,
is
woof.
coconut.
She's our rescue.
She's our baby. She's our rock. She got us through this. While I was in college, I was constantly stressed. I had like stomach issues as a result, and kombucha was the only thing that kind of helped subside it. And really when I got into it, I hated the stuff. It was very brand new. Like you'd only get it at like really obscure grocery stores. I did work as a vet tech for a few years after graduating with the idea to go into the veterinary field. Wasn't feeling it too much anymore. Felt a little lost, didn't know what I wanted to do. Got a few jobs like here and there. I had just got hired at a really well-paying waitressing job, something to get me through, and I had just gotten hired day one, and then they closed down for COVID.
Oh.
So then staff got laid off for COVID. It was at a big place, so they laid off everybody. And that led us to feeling like we had the opportunity to test the waters, try something new, and starting to brew kombucha as a hobby. And then with all this new time that I had, I decided to get more into it, made some new recipes, ended up falling in love with some, got him to like some of them, which he hated kombucha. And
You started in a garage, right?
yeah, so we started in my parents' garage, and I can picture it now, like the fermentation, it was so like thrown together. So no idea what I was doing. I was trying to brew small commercial vessels in my parents' garage. And that was
How did they
fun.
feel about you starting kombucha?
In the beginning, probably okay. And then probably about 6-8 months, and I was still just doing kombucha. Like, places were starting to hire back. I could have gotten another job. I was just still brewing kombucha in the garage. And talking about maybe starting a business brewing kombucha. They weren't thrilled about the smell,
being
for
all
sure.
nice.
They weren't thrilled about the smell of kombucha in their house. So I don't blame them for that. But once you make your first sale, and especially our first day selling, that was...
Yeah, what was your first day like? What was the first flavor?
First flavors that we still have were lavender lemonade and blueberry mojito. Those were the first two flavors.
Is that because that's your favorite?
Lavender lemonade was his and blueberry was mine.
Oh.
What I had at my disposal. Those were just came to mind. Those were the ingredients that I had access to at the time. We liked the final product, so we stuck with those. And we were putting them in bottles at the time when we first started, versus like cans or tap. We like pre-bottled them, similar to bottles
Yeah,
like for your
like this.
water. Yeah.
You should bring one of the nice cans. I love your cans.
I don't have a can on me. I have the original bottle, though.
Oh, yeah. Bring that.
This was the original bottle.
So you were selling this at farmer's market.
Yep, that was
Right.
the first thing.
And did
Amber
you design
bottles.
this yourself?
That's what I spent most of the time working on in the middle of COVID, was drawing, designing, business plans.
I love it.
I had to make a HACCP plan to send to the state health department. That's what took the most
Right here.
time. Yeah.
So you were doing this in your parents' garage. You started doing
Brewing in the
this,
parents'
loving
garage,
it.
designing everything off. Actually, I borrowed like my dad's little work iPad, draw on his iPad. I just used what I had. And
And at which point did you just feel like, okay, I can take this commercial. Not only I'm going to drink it myself, I'm going to sell this.
I feel like it took 3 things to fall into place. It took being happy about the design. I don't know marketing, but I felt like I learned a lot about marketing from my own experience.
Yeah,
Because being
as a consumer.
oh yeah, as a consumer,
Yeah.
the success of a business requires so many different things to be on top of. It's not just how good your product is.
Yeah.
Design specifically is like more important than ever. With so many things on the shelf, how do you know which one's going to be best? It's going to be what you gravitate towards, which one speaks to you. I knew it was very important that I was in love with the design.
Tell us about the dog that inspired this.
That was Bella. So she was a pit bull. She passed shortly before we pursued the company. And so pit bull was just, the breed was very important to us. So I wanted the logo to be a pit bull. And also in that we were going after, which was helping dogs in Riverside County, Southern California. The 3 breeds the most at risk in the shelters are pit bulls, huskies, and German shepherds. Those breeds are massively overpopulated. People are breeding them in their backyard like no other, and just adopting them out to people that don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're getting themselves into, especially huskies and German shepherds. They're energetic dogs. You might get a little luckier with the pit bull, but also a lot of people adopting the pit bulls want a intense, tough dog, and then they get them, find out they're little babies, and they're like, no, I don't want this dog anymore.
And what happens? They
Take them back to the shelter, and the shelter is overpopulated.
Or
with
if
those
they
3
don't put
breeds.
them in the shelter, some of them just drop them off the
Or-
streets.
These days, dropping them off on the streets may give them a better shot. You drop a dog off at the shelter, especially one of those breeds, the chance that they're gonna make it out alive is like the worst it's ever been.
They have a pretty high, unfortunately, high euthanasia in Riverside County.
It's the worst it's ever
Yeah,
been.
it is.
Post-COVID, all the dogs that got adopted during COVID, it was a mass drop-off. Everybody, as soon as they went back to work, as soon as the kids went back to school, as soon as life got busy again, I don't have time for this dog, they dropped them off at the shelters.
wow.
But also a big one why the logo is after Bella was really important to me, and after she passed, it was really hard. that same feeling she gave me, we want to share with the planet. So that's why I give 15% of all proceeds to animal rescue in the name of Bella, in the name of all dogs. I hope everyone gets to experience that. She's taught me so much about life without saying one word of English. No matter what my mood was the day, she was always there by my side. She was just my best friend. And that's why I also went full vegan the day she passed. Why am I putting an animal in my mouth when my best friend was one? And I feel like a lot of animals don't get a chance to even get that feeling. I just really want to try for people to experience the feeling of animals. And
so you got all the pieces.
Feeling.
You got the marketing. You got the
So
recipe down.
So that it was
mission.
a good product. The purpose came when one day we were messing around with the possibility of actually turning it into a business. It's like, okay, I wanted to pursue helping dogs. That's why I wanted to go into vet medicine. If I'm going to not do vet medicine, and if I'm going to do a different career, I still need to help dogs in some way. It just came to my head at one random
You
moment.
did both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kombucha. I was like, oh my God, I love that
What was-
name,
what was
Kombucha.
perfect?
And I was like, oh my God, wait, Kombucha. And then we can donate the proceeds to animal rescue. And at the time, I was like, oh, I was in Wonderland. So I was like, I'll donate all the profits to animal rescue.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just work another job and I'll have the kombucha company. But that's impossible because this takes up all of our time. That was the goal. And as soon as that idea came about, I was like, oh, we have to do this. Like, we have to do this. And then as we kept going, and we saw all these other reasons why this could actually work. Oh, there's no other kombucha in the county? What? I realized that when I started talking to the health department. Started trying to get the permits going. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're the first one to go through the process and actually get through
because
it.
it's the hardest in the county.
We have a very difficult health department. Our county is
Yeah,
very notorious
very
for being
difficult.
very by the book. San Diego County is a little bit more lenient. That's why they have 10 kombucha breweries. So they were like, congratulations, you're the first one to get through. I'm like, oh my God. So no local competition, okay?
What makes you feel like you can make a better kombucha?
To me, to be very honest, this came from Christian. I wasn't out to make a better kombucha. I was out to make a good kombucha and introduce it to the area. To do that, we realized pretty early on, to introduce it to the area and get them to like it, it had to be a little easier to drink. Like, first couple batches, I wasn't trying to intentionally make them smooth. I was making it the way I was accustomed to, which is intensely harsh. 'Cause that's what I'd been drinking for 8 years.
What's the typical recipe for the typical kombucha?
It's black tea, sugar, black tea, green tea, some sort of tea, sugar, and the culture. You can tweak it by the different types of teas, different types of sugar sources.
After a couple batches. And
After
then,
a couple of batches, we just kept tweaking the recipe slightly. I can't say exactly how we tweaked it, but we were tweaking it slightly here and there so that we could get more people to drink it. And it only took maybe a couple batches, a couple weeks. It got much smoother. And we were testing that out, and more people at the farmer's market were like, oh, okay, I drink this. I've tried this grocery store one, but I'll drink yours. Yours is easier.
one big thing is, in my opinion, I believe like kombucha is more of a niche before kombucha. It has that strong vinegar bite and floaties in the product, and I like to say we're the first ones truly to, without dumping artificial flavors or pouring more sugar on top of it. We have our magic that now you're just tasting straight flavor. You're not going to get a mouthful of yeast. No company has done so. It's a whole new drinking experience. No longer do you got to be scared. Now we're hitting people with this product that have never drank kombucha. Now their favorite drink is kombucha, woof woof, and it's been absolutely amazing. And
It's going to be ironic because they might think this is kombucha.
yes,
And then when they actually taste kombucha, like, wait, that's not.
exactly, and that's
Literally had a
Yeah,
customer
it's-
do that yesterday. He was like, I haven't gotten your product in a while, so I caved and bought something at the grocery store thinking, oh, it shouldn't be that different. He made such a scene about it. He came in, he pulled a picture up of the brand. He's like, this is what I tried. And we're like, oh, really? He's like, oh my God, never again. I'm coming back for yours. I'll wait for yours next time.
and that's so cool hearing that. It just tells we're like it's cool, and we got a lot of people drinking it. Like, on a try kombucha. No, I hate that stuff. Now come over here, give it a try real quick.
Actually, let's talk about that a little bit because you guys started in the farmer's market over at Vail
At Vail
headquarters. Tell us about that first day.
So our first day was a Tuesday over at Vail headquarters. I got off my shift and
He met me. He
Yeah.
met me over to help me sell, and he saw that I'm not a salesperson.
Yeah.
I always knew this about myself, but I knew it even more in that moment. I just sat back and I just waited for people to show up. And I know that's not the way to do things now, especially when you're starting a company. But I didn't know any better. He saw that and he took it upon himself to just get up, get in front of the booth, like start pouring samples, ask people, hey, come here, come try this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that's right. I was tired. I was
You
really.
did your night shift. What was it, like 12-hour shift?
Yeah,
What is
it
it?
was about 12 hour, and I was working beforehand too. I was putting on a lot of hours. Got off, and Victoria was trying to sell, and she wasn't really.
I don't have it in me.
She wasn't really selling. She put a lot of work into it. I was like, I'm not gonna see her get sad, and I jumped in and grabbed the first person, and it was pretty hard selling. Kombucha is known to have that vinegar bite. That's already a negative for people. It was pretty cold outside, and we have to sell a cold product and get them to drink that, so that's a double negative.
It was in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, and it was in the middle of COVID. The only things open were farmers markets and stuff. There was a lot of uphill challenges we've had to go through, but we've sold out since day one. I jumped back there, and I wasn't taking a no from answer from really anybody. I was trying to be.
He took a we have nothing to lose kind of approach.
Yeah.
When you first started, like that day, can you remember doing that day? What did it feel like?
It felt very good. I remember our very first Instagram post was an image I took of the booth when we had ended. I remember feeling accomplished. I remember feeling grateful. And I put in the caption, day one done. Here's to many more. And I did in that moment. Oh,
yeah, no kidding, right?
I did in that moment think, wow, this is the start of something.
Yeah.
But we were also, like after the day, we had a conversation of there's two directions we could have gone with the company. It was wholesale route or the market route.
Yeah.
We chose to go market event route, and we hit them really hard. Our idea was we wanted to have the community know us
Personally,
just know the company, what's coming
know
out.
us as people.
Yeah, know us as people, know the owners, also the brand and what we're doing. We felt like to do that before than going into stores and just gambling and rolling the dice and just hoping our product sells. We went out to all the markets events, so we're not foreign to people once we're in grocery stores. We feel like we've done a pretty good job of going out and reaching people and telling them about kombucha, and now we think we're ready for the next step and go all in with the bar and in-house sales and wholesale, which I'm so excited for.
So one thing I want to ask you guys, it's been about what, 3 years, 4 years? 3 years? Okay. You've now going from the first farmer's market, you have wholesale accounts, which I'll go back to because I would love to hear the story about your first wholesale sale. Who was it? Who was that one?
he went
He went?
Marketplace.
Eat Marketplace.
Oh, Eat Marketplace.
Local fancy brunch.
Actually, let's
Yeah.
talk about that real quick. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
our first wholesale account was Eat Marketplace here in Old Town Temecula.
Yeah. Nice place.
Yes, nice place, support local companies. So we had a scare with one of our animals, so we had to go to the animal hospital very early in the morning. We dropped her off, and it was going to be several hours. We were still fresh with our company. I had randomly some bottles with us in a cooler. I had it in my head because we were having a really bad day, and we went over to Eats, tried to pick up the spirits. So we sat down and we ordered, and we were still pretty sad, and I just really wanted to change the mood. So I seriously just got up, went over to their bar and asked for a manager, and a manager showed up. And I told her everything about kombucha, that we're the first local ones in the whole county in the city history. We're different. We give back to animals. And we took a spin on it that no company has done, and it's really sold her. And she came over to try for samples, and she tried the lavender, the blueberry, and the cinnamon pear. The moment she tried those, she said, we would love to have you guys in here. And that was our first wholesale account. I got that account in my anime shirt and some gym shorts and slippers because we had to sprint out of the house. Tori was in pajamas.
Spur of the moment.
Yeah, it was. But it's really cool. And
They were a very big supporter of us. They had definitely helped put us in the eyes of the community.
Yeah.
Because they are a staple in this community. When they started advertising, look what we have, look what we brought in, try them, they're our friends. It was that starting point to be like, okay, we're a part of this community now. People know about us. Now it wasn't just us going to farmers markets. Now it was us going to farmers markets and working with another well-established, well-known local business.
Yeah, that was cool. And then when they ordered their first
Yeah.
kegs and everything, that was like, Yeah, that was cool. I'll never forget our first keg. Choked up. That was really cool. And then expanded, did a lot more. Now we got many more accounts now, and it's just been a ride, man. It's so cool.
You go over the place for deliveries, right?
Yeah, we do all of our own canning, sealing, labeling, and delivering. Yeah.
I think you go to While.
Yeah, we have one of our great accounts, Creekstone.
That was a cool one. Before
Yeah.
we even started doing wholesale, he actually just emailed us randomly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a new modern hotel in Idlewild, and we want to offer free kombucha to our guests.
Complimentary
And I was
kombucha,
looking for
yeah.
local kombucha, and you came up and wanted to see if you guys sell kegs. And we weren't selling any wholesale product then. We didn't have enough product to do that. And I told him, I said,
Yeah, we do.
we will. Give us a little bit. Give me a few months and I'll get back to you. And I probably waited 6 months until we were ready. And then I emailed him again and I said, okay, we're ready. Are you? And are you still want us? And he was like, yeah, let's do this. And he was on, I would almost argue actually our first wholesale account that
More
because
first
he was
consistent
coming
one.
after, he came looking for us and he was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I want you guys. He loved the local aspect.
And the
they've
mission,
been
everything.
really awesome.
Yeah,
supporters.
Creekstone has been really huge, number one in Idlewild, in my opinion. And deliver it every single time.
It's a beautiful drive.
And then also from doing all this, also taught myself how to do kegerator maintenance. We do the kegerators, set up CO2 lines to clear lines, clean lines, and a lot of things could go wrong. Your lines could get clogged, depending on what temperatures in the refrigerator. It could freeze up. Your lines might not be tight enough, so you're losing PSI. You're not getting enough carbonation, just stuff like that.
I see. So what's your approach?
I'll redo it. I'll re-tighten up all the lines. I'll shoot it with more PSI to make sure that it's flowing correctly. If your line's dirty, I'll clean the lines. Just basically just touch everything up, tighten everything up, lube everything up. And there's been several accounts that their kegerators break, and I just come in there and I fix them up. That's another little step we do with Kombucha when I go off to deliver kegs. Yeah.
So you guys, okay, let's recap real quick. So first day of farmer's market, right? Got over that hump, feeling great about it. Then it seems like you turned something that could have been a bad day, where there's a rejection in the farmer's market, into a good day. In the morning, you heard potentially bad news about your dog, and say, okay, let's turn this day around. And you had your first wholesale. And there's a lot of resilience, I feel, like in your life. Have you always felt like you're resilient? Or
He had to be.
you had to be?
I
The
had
way
a-
he was raised, grew up.
I had an interesting lifestyle brought up. Made me who I am today, without going into that much detail. But I gotta say, it's hard to say, I'm very proud of what's happened to me. It was the most difficult stuff, but I never gave up. I always believed in myself. Got me to this point. I dropped out of school, and everyone, once I dropped out, all the teachers and everything said trouble would follow me for the rest of my life. I'd get in a lot of trouble, and here I am 12 years later, owner of companies and first kombucha brewery, and making something myself. And if I listened to everybody growing up on how to speak, how to dress, don't do this, don't do that, I want to be the person I am today. I ignored all that, and I did what I thought was best for myself and my future. And once I met Victoria, I knew right then and there she's the love of my life, and we're gonna do great things. And I gave all my effort and everything to her and the company, and this is where we're at. And I'm so happy to be in this spot. And my lifestyle beforehand gave me this shield for the community, helped me go out and for rejection, like out selling at the market, come over here, try it. No, I'm not trying that. So the rejection part was easy for me. I just get that out of here. And
Next one.
Next one. Not taking no for an answer. Never take no for an answer. Failure is not an option for me. So we just, I'm trying really hard and just doing what we think is best for ourselves and the company.
Now, how have you guys changed over the last 4 years as individuals?
Probably aged 20 years.
I feel like it. Yeah. Look like it.
Look like it. We've grown in positive ways for sure.
Positive ways.
We've grown
good
in
one.
positive ways for sure. Learned a lot. I was much quieter, much more antisocial, and I've become forced to not be that way. That's a good quality in myself. So
Yeah.
we're both couch potatoes. If it was completely up to us, neither of us would ever leave the house. But that was 3 years ago. Now this is being out and being with our customers, and it's a whole new feeling that we never thought we would feel, and now it's like we crave it. Like
Is it
we'll go like,
purpose?
oh yeah, we'll go like when we used to just do markets. Like we'd brew on the weekdays and then do markets on the weekends. The weekdays would get very depressing. It'd get very, oh God, okay, this just going
Like
through
getting
the motions.
ready for the weekend.
And then we get to the weekend, and then 3 customers in, and we're like reminded, oh, okay,
This is why we're doing
it.
Yeah, this is
all
cool.
Our customers like put so much energy into us. There's no other way to describe it other than they energize us. Now that's a feeling we never would have felt if we just stayed in our comfort zone and didn't get out there. And now that we felt that, we're like, oh my God, this is life. Feeling that feeling of the connection
alive.
and feeling that feeling of like, of these people enjoy being around you and enjoy you as people and enjoy what you're doing, and their beliefs align with yours. They want to help dogs. They want to be healthy. It's just unreal.
It's a different feeling when you got people coming up and saying, "This is the best kombucha I've ever had. You guys' mission. I just love you guys as people. I love you guys as a company."
It started with just this.
That means a lot, and then it just kept going, just kept growing, and now it's thousands of people now, and it's just wow. And what made it this far is just the people that have supported it.
It used to be they would enjoy the product, and now after 3 years, it's like they enjoy us as people, and now because they've become family to us, like we have. I keep saying, like yesterday, the day before, because these things happen, they happen all the time. What was it, 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Somebody came in and we weren't even open, and she thought that we were, and we had planned to be. And she showed up like, "Are you guys open?" And we're like, "No, I'm sorry, but we'll still help you. We'll still help you. Sorry, it's a mess in here."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Don't worry about it. I love you guys. I love what you're doing." She just like, went into this whole like massive speech about like how much she loves us as people, and how she drives from Huntington Beach to get her refills, and she would follow us anywhere.
Feels really
and
good.
So that's what I'm saying. Like in the beginning, what got people like her to be a part of this journey with us was the product. But now 3 years later, it's us. It's the whole package.
Yeah, since
and
they've been so long with us, now they're learning stuff about us, and we're getting so much support of just at the end of the day, because it's just Victoria and I. And we knew nothing about anything, absolutely nothing, and we self-taught everything to this point.
I remember coming here when this brewery was just an idea,
Yeah.
and seeing you guys epoxying the floor,
Power washing came first, and then epoxying the floor, and then measurements on the floor.
concrete opened up,
Concrete
the wall was
holes.
there.
Yep. It's been all new plumbing, all drywall, FRP, our own walk-in. It's just been one hell of a ride. Janitorial sink, produce sink, hand washing sink,
lot.
just absolutely everything.
Now, what has any time have you ever somewhere along the lines, should we be doing this? Are we crazy?
All the time.
Yeah,
Several times.
several times.
So,
Daily.
We've never taken a paycheck since we started it, so it's sometimes it gets a little difficult financially. We've had to make all kinds of sacrifices, so it's been pretty difficult doing this and still living our lives. We don't have a social life. It's been difficult, but we're trying really hard.
This is the sacrifice.
Yeah, this is we understand what we're trying to build, and we want to build a life for each other and have a future. We're doing all this right now, so hopefully we won't have to do anything later on.
Hope so that we can do what we really
Truly
want to
yeah,
do.
that's
later
what I
on.
better said.
what
That's
is
what I
that?
meant.
Rescue dogs.
Rescue, sit back, help companies,
help
invest in some companies,
help dogs.
dogs.
Was there anything that from the first day of farmers market to opening up this brewery that you would say, okay, if I had known there's 3 things
That we wouldn't have done
that No, more like it would have been a lot easier if we had known these things.
If we had known
because a lot of
these
people
things?
are going maybe go through the same thing. They might be opening breweries, but they are like trying to make their own dreams come true.
Yeah. There's nothing.
There-
We've talked about this before. I don't think there's anything we wish we had known
Yeah.
or done any differently.
The 3 things what you should do when you.
But
Or-
the thing is, we did those things. We have no regrets about how we did this. We have no
No.
regrets like about, oh, we wish we knew that. We wish we knew that. I guess I wish I was born with the knowledge of how to apply for a business license and apply for permits, but like that's really it. Everything else we learned, we really put everything in. We have no major regrets. If you would have asked us a year ago, because we didn't even have the brewery, we didn't know this place existed, I would have said, yeah, I wish I knew more about the leasing process and finding the buildings and what it takes to get a building and how much money you need to get a building. But now that we're here, I wouldn't say that because we ended up where we were supposed to be.
And how did you beat everyone in terms of getting
This place
brewery? It's a
specifically,
great place?
we quite literally did beat everybody, but I have to give the credit to our landlords for that.
Our
'cause
landlords are
our
absolutely
landlords
amazing.
were that, and that's where it all comes back to. It felt meant to be. Like we got turned down at so many establishments. We had a realtor who was helping us for the first time. We'd had her for maybe 2 weeks. And her and I were just going back and forth, sending each other options. She would reach out to them for us. She got turned down like 10 plus times. And then I sent her this one. I was like, hey, this one used to be a distillery. It was in the same family that has a bar. Like, this kind of seems awesome. It's in our price range. It's footage. All the above. It seemed too perfect. And I knew that, so I was prepared to not get it. And she pursued it. We didn't get turned down immediately, although it was taking a while.
It was scary.
There was a
It
lot
was
of
scary at
there
times.
was a lot of back and forth. Long story short, our landlords, when they finally did come across our application, they'll tell you it felt like they found what they were looking for. They looked through tons of applications, and when they saw ours, they were like, "That's
Was
what
it your
we've been
story?
waiting- That's
Was
what
your
we've
mission?
been."
Yeah.
It was a lot from. I won't speak for them. I'm trying to remember exactly what they've told us.
They
so
did
I don't-
investigate us and went
Yeah,
to
yeah,
our
yeah.
wholesale
Yeah,
accounts and
they-
asked about us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Yeah, they
They
did.
did
They're
their
like
due
private
diligence,
investigators.
but they were
Hey, I
looking-
respect them for doing it. That's amazing.
They were looking for somebody that would use the space,
Well,
that would take advantage of the bar.
It's
that
their
would,
baby.
yeah,
It's
it was their
everything.
baby. So they wanted somebody that was going to use their
Treat
baby
it
well,
right,
treat it
do
well.
it everything.
And they
work
saw
with it.
us. They were advised, really, maybe we weren't the best candidates, being so young, being
Mm-hmm.
such a fresh business. But they did their due diligence. They went to our wholesale accounts. We talked a little bit in person, and they had zero doubts. And they told us that every day since. They felt like this was meant to be. We felt like it was meant to be. So
that's incredible.
there's no other way to describe it other than
Yeah.
it was meant to be.
Yeah.
And then Victoria also wrote them a nice letter.
Oh yeah, I had a desperate moment where I felt
It was
I was
a-
getting
it was-
very. We were getting
it was
close to the
scary.
holidays, and I was like, God, I can't. I wasn't hearing back. I was like,
was
it's been a
scary.
couple weeks, and I knew it was getting close to the holidays, and I didn't want this to go into the following year. I was like, I need to get this done before Christmas. And I think shortly before Christmas, I sent a one-page letter, essentially
A very personal letter.
explaining every reason, trying to get in their head, basically saying, if you're worried about this, don't be, because blah, blah, blah. If you're worried about our age, if you're worried about our finances, if you're worried about this, that, don't worry.
Yeah.
This is why you
I think
should worry.
that was a great move, even
Like-
though it felt like a move of desperation.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't jump into it. I knew it was going to sound desperate. I did not think it was going to work. But then when we did talk to them in person, it took a little bit, but eventually he mentioned that letter was actually what we
That
did.
letter is the thing
Yeah.
that did it. That was cool.
Yeah, that was.
Never gave up.
Never gave up. And so,
I haven't read that letter since.
Honestly, for people that want to start a company, 3 things: you need to have confidence in yourself, do everything to your company, and one big thing: don't let anybody dictate your life or tell you what you could do or not do. Truly, it sounds corny, but once you put your mind to it and your effort, seriously, anything is accomplishable. So never doubt yourself and just don't give up. Honestly, take the swing. You're going to miss sometimes, but sometimes you can connect, but get up and always take that swing. You'll never know unless you take that swing.
Someone said, what do you look for in an entrepreneur? I think it's a question to VC. And someone smartest, someone with best credentials, someone who's like can pick teams. What is it? No, someone who like is like a cockroach, never gonna die. You'll find a way to survive. Because the ones that survive are the ones that write history.
Literally, yeah. And we talked about that.
We were on the
That's
very bottom once we started this.
We've had to remind each other of that a lot more, lot often, very frequently. It's because Christian's questioned like for how much effort we put in, and I don't blame him for how much effort we put into this. We feel like we should be seeing more tangible results. I'll say monetary results. Yeah. Without sounding, because again, we're not in this for the money. We're in this to survive.
But this is also our business.
But we're getting to the point where it is hard to survive, it's hard. And so you wonder. On the outside looking in, things could look great. You guys have a brewery. You have this trailer. You're open 7 days a week. Your product's great. The city's supporting you. You guys should be doing great. Yeah. So don't look at our credit card bills. Don't look at the loans. Don't look at our finances. That it is hard to look at all this and really think that we're doing well when you see the back end. Yeah. And so you try not to look at that, but you have to, or else you really won't survive. So it is easy to be like, are we doing this? Did we do this backwards? Like, we've never lived together in our 10 years of being together. And that's crazy. Like, we own a brewery, a business, before we've ever even lived together.
All that too, for this too.
Yeah, it feels backwards. It doesn't make sense. And there's no guidebook to like, is this the way to do things? So it is very easy to be like, are we doing this wrong? Did we do this wrong? Did we make a mistake? Is this not going to work?
What's interesting is you're doing a lot of things for the first time. You're making a new recipe for kombucha. Your relationship and first time starting a company in a city that didn't have one like this before. So a lot of firsts. Yeah. But that's where it's interesting, right? Because precisely the definition of frontier is unknown. It's like you're carving out the unknown. Then you can share your story, say, okay, this is how we did it. Yeah. But how you did it may not be how other people will do it. But you just found a different way.
I don't think we could ever create a guidebook of do what we did and it'll work for you. We just did our best.
You adapted really well.
We thought it was right.
Yeah.
And being open to adapting. That would probably be the only thing I'd say is being open to not being so set in your ways. Oh, if this doesn't work, then screw those customers. Yeah. Like they weren't the right customers.
I've never said that to anybody, and I never really had a disagreement. That's what's been really cool.
3 years in, and we're still asking customers, what do you think about too much mango, more mango? Like,
always
what do you guys
asking.
want? Like, we are willing to adapt to make this work. I would say it's, just doing your best and being willing to adapt. I guess that's all I would say.
Just because we're this far and everything, and we always take advice from people, we go always. We're never gonna be like, no. Like we're like, hey, how's your experience? What do you think about the flavors? You have what would you like to see? Just absolutely everything. It's been.
And our customers know that about us. We had a customer in here. What was it? Saturday morning, very first morning.
That
we
was so
open at
cool.
8 a.m. He gets here at 8:02. He sits down at the bar. He's fully intending on filling up his glass multiple times. He's chilling. We're hanging out. We're talking, and he finds a moment to fill it in. He goes, I have a list of flavor ideas that I thought of. You guys might be sharing them with you.
So cool.
And we're like, dude, yes.
That brought a smile on my face too. That's just so cool.
And that's a common thing of people being like, hey, I have some ideas. Like, what about this? What about that? Like, you think about it, and it's almost like this company has become not just our company, but company for all these other people. Like they feel like they're a part of it. they want to be a part of it, and we want them to be a part of it. We're not just saying that, like they're actually giving us ideas, and we're following through with some of them. I'm like, yeah, this is a company for the community. That's you.
It's a company
Give us
for the
your
community.
ideas. Yeah.
That's cool because we're living in an age now. There is a company for everything, right? But there's also huge companies where you feel like the relationship is very transactional.
Oh, okay.
You don't even go to Walmart and feel
Oh, that's
let
like
me give
everything.
Walmart some really constructive feedback, and they'll just listen and do it. You go there, you live in their world, and you figure out which companies can provide what you need based on your constraints. And the local aspect of it, I think that local revival is necessary because people crave it. They feel like they're participating versus just consuming. And I think this is a good example of that.
And we didn't know if somebody told us in a marketing course that was the way to do things. Okay, great, but nobody
actually
ever,
did take
But
a-
that's why it's
nobody-
authentic because
yeah.
it's not like it's not a means to an end.
No, yeah, exactly. We were not doing this because the textbook told us
That's
to.
right.
It just felt right. We saw that it was working, and we saw that they loved it, and they loved us, and they loved being involved, and we're like, bring it on, keep doing it.
Yeah, we actually did take a couple classes up north that some city was offering or.
Oh, this was
Marketing classes?
Well,
Yeah. No, I
this was-
took
What'd you
a
think of
couple. It was
that?
free.
Yeah.
It was free. We went up there. I tried it.
I think we went 2 times.
Yeah, it was so funny. But I was sitting back in the class, or other business owners asking questions and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, but the professional that's giving the course is telling how to do it, and I'm just sitting back. I'm like, we're doing that. We're doing that. Wait, really quick. And I asked the question. He's like, oh, you know yourself. I'm like, no, I'm just doing it. But it was just like, it's like also what works for you might not work for me. So you might be telling me all your stuff that works for you and what your other companies do. So I took the information, brought it back. Victoria and I talk about everything. And we just seriously did what we thought was best. And we did all of our own marketing and all of our own sales. And we took our own spin on it.
You know
too.
what's cool from my perspective, seeing you guys, marketing truly is about people. You're marketing to people. How do you tell stories? I think you guys just care about people. So that becomes more natural. You might not know the tactic, but you care about people. So everything stems from
I don't think it started off that way either. It started off that we cared about animals. We
Yeah,
cared
that's
about our
interesting.
health. And then once the people got involved, we started making our sales. Customers started becoming friends, supporters. Then we're like, then we learned.
Like they're now
Then
part
we
of the circle.
learned about caring about the people. Then it became so natural.
Yeah.
And it became so much bigger than
It was
than
just
the
it was just like from farmers market to brewery. Weren't expecting that. Was not expecting to be a role model for kids that come inside. I wasn't expecting to now have brothers and sisters for all of our customers, mamas, everything. Like wasn't expecting any of that.
got probably about 4 women that say, "Call me mom."
Wow.
And
To him.
they support me and get like everything. It's a whole.
Your Thanksgiving dinner is going to be big.
Oh, 100%. We even he's probably got about 3 separate invites because I'm the back end, so I say him because he talks to everybody more than me, and he's got at least 3 invites to holidays.
Wow.
Yeah, just real quick, so that might sound weird for people that hear that, but I don't have a family, so people know that about me, our close customers, and they invite me over, and it's just everyone accepts me, but that's just an aspect of the company that you're not expecting to do.
That's
Now,
the thing.
talking, and it's just the company grew from just making kombucha. Now we're saving animal lives, meeting people, meeting other business owners, expanding, now working close with the city, public speaking, interviews on news stations. And we got to change ourselves for the company. And this was never something no one's ever told me or what, hey, you're starting a business. This is what's going to happen. This is all new. And we even with all the success, we're still a brand new company. We just hit our 3-year and we've accomplished a lot. We're the first ones to take kombucha on tap. We have a tap trailer that we upgraded our normal booth. And once we took that on tap, it was a game changer and we got into big events.
The idea was eco-friendly. We were using the glass bottles, which we could have technically tried to reuse, have people bring them back, but it was the middle of COVID, so there was some logistic issues with reusing people's bottles.
That's another aspect of the whole company was COVID too. That was fun.
Eco-friendly was the end goal. Reusable bottles. So refilling growlers was the idea. How to refill growlers on the spot. We need to serve them on tap. Some places that will use what's called a jockey box, which is just an ice chest outfitted to serve tap.
Yeah, we got jockey
And
box too.
we could have done that, and I'm glad we didn't because we would have gotten comfortable. It's easy
Yeah.
and definitely more financially.
I think half-assed a little bit.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, but it's necessary.
Sometimes
Some
it's
people
necessary.
because of finances, and that was for us as well. It was
Yeah.
necessary because of finances. I have to give it to my parents. At that point, they started, took a little bit, but by that point, they saw the potential. By this point, they were
supporting.
very interested and believing and wanted to do what they could do to help.
That's cool.
And so the conversation came up of how can we speed this up? We didn't want to get lost in the sea of potential competition in case anybody did start to see us doing well and like, oh, I could do this better. And
It was
you
at
know,
our first vegan depot.
we wanted-
They saw our online and started seeing us, and they're like,
yeah,
wow,
so we're like, we're
this-
starting to get noticed.
they're
So
actually
we need to try
doing
and-
something.
We
Their
need to try
customer
and,
base. That's cool.
we need to try and do this. We need to speed this up so
Yeah.
we can really put our
Yeah.
name on the map.
Yeah.
And so that conversation came up with my parents, and we had heard of tap trailers before. We found a place up in NorCal that made them custom. We were going to put that on hold. We'll wait a year until we get the money, and I'll give it to my parents.
Didn't help.
They
Yeah,
they
said,
stepped
well, we're
in.
going to get the
Yeah.
trailer for you now.
Appreciate,
Wow.
really
So
appreciate that.
I have to give that to them for sure. And we always
helped
tell
the company
people,
a lot.
the trailer is what put us on the map.
Yeah.
It was so unique. It impressed a lot of event coordinators.
Yeah.
And so they were coming to us saying, we want you at our
They want the
market.
tap trailer.
The
Yeah.
tap trailer, we
Unique.
want you
Custom
there.
bar top for it too, so
Yeah,
it looks like it's an
it's-
experience that when you're coming over at these events. So it looks like a bar. We had our custom canopy that had kombucha all written around it.
It propelled
Different
us from
experience,
being
totally different experience.
Home brewing to a legit company.
To a
Yeah.
professional looking company, and it was absolutely insane. The moment we filled that thing up with our kegs, it was so insane. The day we went to an event and we drained every single one keg. That was cool, and yeah, we just kept going, and that was really cool.
So I feel like the trailer was definitely a
Trailer was
key moment in Kompoocha's life.
100%. That's when it was
Game changer.
We,
Yeah.
and
It was
we
game
knew that
changer.
before we made that purchase. My parents made that purchase. Was there's no going back.
Yeah.
This is
it.
This is
Let's talk about your partnership. You guys seem to work really well. I remember coming here first time to this before you guys working on this. And you guys are doing some hard physical labor. I'm like, a lot of relationships don't survive a move or redecorate. They say if you're like redecorating a move, it's a good test for your. Also, opening breweries is a great test.
Opening up company, yeah. It's, you
How
know,
do you guys? Yeah, how do you guys compliment each other?
you want to answer it or me?
there's not an easy answer.
I got my answer.
Okay, what's your answer?
How it's been, I wouldn't pick anyone else, honestly. And Victoria and I work so great together. I'm really easygoing. Victoria's the love of my life, so honestly, I just go with the flow. Whatever she wants to do, I'm just so happy to be a part of her life. I'm just really want to make sure she hits those dreams, and I'm here supporting. So I give her all my energy. Basically, just the laborer, the wholesale guy. I just make sure her life is as easy as possible. I just try really hard to do that, and I just love her, so everything's easy. A lot of people go, oh, you're working with your loved one? You guys must bicker, fight all the time. And I'm just sitting back going, no. And I hear other people that work together that are couples, and they just fight. I'm just like, man, do you guys really love each other? Like, you guys, I'm absolutely lucky. I get to have a business with the love of my life. She's my best friend. Do everything together, and don't want anyone else to work with. So if I had to do it again, I would 100% pick Victoria.
Sounds so simple, yeah. So
I
hard.
guess there's an
Yeah.
easy answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So was that when you
seriously, her, I really feel unstoppable with this team we have. It's a great 1-2 combo. We complement each other. We're a little opposite.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Is that would be my version of the easy answer. Is we've always known since we've known each other that we're opposites.
And you are like, what's
I mean, we've changed since then, but I'd still say for the most part we're opposites. But there was a time when I was the more quiet one, he was the more outgoing one. We've balanced each other out since. And I'm a little bit more outgoing and he's a little bit more quiet. Sometimes, yeah. So like we balance, but at the end of the day, I'll just say the oppositeness in us allows us to be there for each other when the other needs the help. We're not like taking things head on both at the same time. If we need to, we can. But for the most part, it's like Christian's like, okay, I got this today. Like I'm on this, you take this, you take that.
Yeah.
Or I'm feeling a little down or vice versa. Like, okay, then I'll take that, you do that. Like it's, and it helps us to also separate responsibilities so that we're not bumping heads. Like he's the salesman. I will completely agree. I have no sales skills whatsoever. So I have no problem being like, okay, sales wise, you do it. He'll ask me like, what do you think about this? I'm thinking about doing that. How about I approach it this way? I'm like, great. I have nothing to say about that. I completely trust you. Not that you need to, but you have proven yourself to be the best salesman that I know. Who am I to argue?
There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of trust in this relationship.
Trust is key. And any relationship, not even relationship, but a team, you got to trust the person next to you. If you don't trust the person next to you, I'm just telling you right now, I don't care what it is, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You have to 100% trust. And it's not a one-man show with anything we do.
Constantly asking each other, are you okay with this? I want to do this. Are you okay with that? Are you sure? Okay. You want to give your 2 cents? We can do this together? No? Okay. I'll take over that. Or you do want to be involved? Okay. Let's talk about this.
That's
like just
cool.
being very, before we make any major moves, just being, but then a lot of times some of those things will come to, even if one of us, not really, but you know what? Like we win some, you lose some. We're not here to fight. And that's where the trust comes back in. It's, I don't really agree, but if you really, truly believe that, go for it. I support you. Go for it.
There's been a couple of those conversations.
Yeah, that happens. They happen more often, more recently, because there's so much going on.
Do you want to talk about a few future plans you guys have brewing up?
I was going to say, we've been open for about a week, and already the biggest feedback we've gotten is people want food here. They'll drink more kombucha. If they have more food, they'll hang out more often. We're listening, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. We're already test driving some little snacky things. We're going to make some here.
That's
We're
gonna be
going
fun.
to also source some from other small business friends that we have. We have some baked goods being delivered next week.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we
It's
have
cool.
ideas to go beyond that. We were talking about this menu being phase 1. Like, we have ideas to turn this into an actual little mini restaurant.
It will be eventually
Yeah.
at one point.
So
and then,
those are the things we're talking about and thinking about now and discussing now. And aside from that, we want to do events here, adoption events, holiday events. We want to do. There's so much stuff that we can do now that now we're talking about.
And
we never had to talk about before.
Yeah, and that's just the brewery too. That's not even. Big step was us. We weren't able to manufacture a lot for our whole company life, but now we're in here. We're building up so we can start manufacturing. And
You have the
up.
facility, right?
We have the
capacity.
facility now and the capacity that we could start brewing now for a lot. So the next step is wholesaling. I'm telling you right now, we're going to take Riverside by storm here in a second with kombucha. Woof woof.
And I want to enunciate on the within a second, because we are taking it a little slow at this very moment. Slow for us.
Slower. I don't know what slow is for you guys.
Slow for us. I know we say slow, but we're still exhausted. But we're taking some time to enjoy it.
Yeah, we're gonna ride out the brewery for a couple months because we were absolutely exhausted at getting to this point. As you can see, I look like a zombie. It is Halloween, so I'm just giving away that's my zombie outfit today. Woof woof. But yeah, we work 120 hours a week minimum. This is
I
our
know.
life.
On a personal note, I've always told Christian to sleep more.
Sleep and eat, man. I
because-
love you as a brother, homie. Thank you for always saying that to me. That's when it's like that. When people tell me Christian, they actually care about me. They don't even ask about the company. They're like, you need to get some sleep. It's like, thank you,
Yeah,
brother.
because
I know.
Thanks for actually looking at me as a person.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
You're not just kombucha chef.
Yeah, thank you very
Brewer.
much, and I appreciate
You're a
that,
human
brother.
being. Remember that time I brought ramen here?
Yes, dude, I'll never forget that time.
Forced us to eat.
I'll never forget that time. That was the
We-
best
He doesn't
time.
know the story.
Okay, yes. So you told me Peter wanted to come by, wanted to hang out, and I was like, he can come, but we're just working. So as long as he doesn't mind just watching us work. And Christian told Peter, hey, we're working. Maybe tonight's not the night. And Peter was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll still come. And I'll bring food too. What do you guys want to eat? Dude, don't worry about it. We don't have time to eat.
We don't eat.
We
don't
don't
sleep.
even eat to begin with. We just have to work. That's it. And then 1 hour later, you show up with ramen.
He shows
and,
up with
and literally,
vegan
and then
ramen,
Christian has set up a
sake.
table. And I literally in the middle of filtering just stopped what I was doing and I sat down and ate ramen.
Dude, we didn't even really have a conversation too right there. It was just like, I just sat there and I was like, dude, this is so cool.
We're having a meal.
Beautiful soul. It's like we're eating, we're sitting down and like
That was cool.
enjoying it. That was such
Yeah,
a nice
was cool.
little break, man. I'll never forget that. Thank you so much.
This one,
And there's gonna be many
this is
more.
community right here.
It
Right.
100% is a community, and this is all starting from just in the garage, and it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's cool. So lots of new plans. Actually, one thing I was pulling up a book. Naval is a founder of AngelList. He's mostly known for that, but he's also like AngelList is a platform where you can invest in startups. Naval's also become a very vocal, almost like a philosopher online, like a stoic kind of. He's written a really famous tweets about his philosophy about money, working, wealth, and so on. He's someone I respect. Not only because of what he does, but also his approach. And I was rereading one of his book. It's called The Almanac of Naval. It reminds of you guys because it says that the way to get out competition. Some people say, outwork everybody. There are a lot of YouTubers out there that say, I will outwork anyone. I think that's a fool's errand to say, outwork anyone. We all have physical limits, we all have mental limits. It's not about just outworking. But Naval says that it's about when you work, it's authentic, it's an extension of you. Only you can do it. That's becomes the advantage. That's how you get out of a competition.
Oh, I love that.
100%.
So in many ways, this company wasn't just about because I'm aiming for commercial success because I found this new recipe. Every step is about, what's the next natural step that aligns with us, the two of you. That's why it's cool.
And
The authentic.
Yeah.
It's an extension of our authentic.
hopefully, and hopefully when people drink the kombucha, they could seriously taste the amount of love and everything we put into it because we work so
I wouldn't even
hard.
say hopefully. I would say that's already been proven. That's literally what our customers say.
And people embrace
Well,
you.
also for new customers, I hope
Yeah.
all that as well.
Yeah. That's why I think the story is the center. The product is just a byproduct of the story.
Yeah.
And the next offering, whether it's the vegan, candle, it could be the food you offer, it's all an extension of the same story. Same way I'm approaching the water brand is similarly. There's not another water brand that's going to feel like.
And that's what I actually
Because-
told you
and
right in the
that's-
beginning, and the sale point of it all for
And
wisdom,
that's
man.
exactly,
Yeah.
And that it's going back to that quote is you could say that there's no other water brand like it, but then you say why? Because there's no other Peter.
Yeah.
And because the water brand is Peter.
It's an extension of me.
That's the only way to truly prove if there's no other company like your company. If you make the company extension of yourself.
Yeah. That's also why I think a lot of times later on when the founder's not there, like the company loses way because the why disappeared. It becomes commercial. It becomes revenue first.
Oh, yeah.
You know what also with kombucha has grown to be, like I've gotten actually offers to sell like other companies and
brands.
stuff. Yeah, people approach me and go, dude,
You know how to do this.
you got something
Yeah.
special. Like
Yeah.
I love your energy. I love your confidence. Like how about you come work for me? Stop
Mm-hmm.
this. I can't because the big part of it is what are you selling? They'll tell me it's
Heart's not in it.
I'm not in it. That's nice money and everything, but it's, I can't. What makes it so easy for me and Kombucha is I 100% believe in what we're doing. I believe in Victoria and got Bella on it. It's my best friend, so everything I do just comes all natural.
That's beautiful. Now, for all the viewers out there who are looking at you guys and say, okay, cool. You
Well,
guys
force
have
me
done
on me out.
this. Done this, but actually, this is the beginning.
Doing this,
right?
yeah.
You're doing something.
Yeah, doing it, trying really hard.
You're trying. You're resilient. You've had many no's in your face. You've been a lot of obstacles.
I just turned 31. Victoria just turned 29.
31 and 29.
Started this when we were 27 and 25.
What do you want to say to the viewers who are hesitant, faced with a lot of challenges, confused about life?
I went through struggles. I've always believed in myself. I was lucky enough to find Victoria. We stuck together. If you're trying to do stuff in your life, believe in yourself, have confidence in yourself. This is your life. Don't let other people dictate your life. just truly believe in yourself and what you want to do and what you want your life to be like in the future. Keep that in goal and just work towards it every day. Just believe in yourself and be the best version of yourself. That's really it. Just don't give up. Take your swing. You are going to fail. You might fail really hard, and you might fail to a point where you think it's absolutely impossible to get back up. Promise you, just get back up and just keep trying, and love will find you. Everything will find you, and
Keep going. It's like Denzel Washington, a quote.
Yeah, just keep,
fall 7 times, get up 8 times.
Yeah, seriously. Just have confidence. Yeah.
Awesome.
One huge thing what I just want to say about Victoria too on her brewing skills, it's pretty hard. We're a non-alcoholic company that have to test under a 0.5%, and if you keep letting it ferment, the alcohol content will go up. In my opinion, super easy to make alcoholic kombucha because it's just on longer fermentation. Victoria, though, has kept us under a 0.5% without knowing anything about brewing and just learning how to brew. I've been by her side and learning, and it's really cool. A huge accomplishment keeping it under non-alcoholic. People are showing up and kids are drinking at the bar with their parents, looking like they're getting kombucha drunk, but it's all non-alcoholics, saving their guts. It's cool. It's cool.
And you guys, you're like detail oriented. I feel like you're.
Victoria's down. Sorry for speaking there. Take over.
Yeah, for sure. I was a perfectionist. I've gotten better at it, but
And Christian, you're like the
problem.
concept guy, right? Getting out there, opening doors.
Yeah.
I'd love
So
to
Victoria can
kick
walk
those
through.
doors wide open for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
This is Victoria. Come on. Yeah.
But to go back to your question that you asked earlier of what I would personally say to anybody watching, I've thought about this a lot. If I'm trying to talk like bigger picture, and not everybody may agree with this, but I feel like we all have some level, as human beings, have all some level of responsibility to do something to help the world, however small or however big that could be. It could be as small as rescuing a cat. It may be small, and then for the rest of your life, you didn't feel like you did anything else to change the world, but to that cat, you changed their world. Or it could be something massive where you start this nonprofit and you save refugee children. It doesn't matter. I feel like we all have this responsibility to do something to leave the world a little bit better than when we came into it. If anybody is doubting how to pursue their life, what to do in their life to find that fulfillment, it's find what you feel like you can bring to the world and how you can make it better, and then give it 120%. As long as you are completely vulnerable, give it your all, completely authentic, you will make the world a better place if you give yourself to that world.
It's like changing the world by giving yourself.
Yeah. If you want to change the world, then give the world you.
I love that point. Remember your purpose.
Yeah.
And you can.
Yeah.
You should feel like you can
Yeah.
change the world
Yeah.
for the better.
If you're trying to find your purpose, don't. Your purpose is you. Do what you love, give it 120%, and don't doubt that as long as you stay on that path, you are going to make the world a better place and you will be happy. And that's the only thing I can say speaking from experience. So many times, and we can both attest to this,
I
we
learned
had
that
no
from
we had no
Victoria,
idea
honestly.
what we wanted to do. We like, what do we have to do? We have to make a plan. We have to make money. We have to and it's very easy to get caught up in that, especially right now when like money is survival.
Yep.
And like at this very moment. But if you can just set aside some time of the day to just do what you love and do it with all 120% of your authentic self, before you know it, it's going to sprout into something so much bigger than that.
And having faith in that.
Oh, God.
I feel like, Victoria, you found your purpose first.
Yeah.
And then, Christian, you found yours through that.
Yeah, she taught me how special I am. My purpose is within myself. There's a lot of people that don't understand me because I am 100% different from anyone else around. Victoria's taught me to love myself, be confident in myself, and even some of my closest people to me don't
Appreciate his true self.
how I approach everything, and
But then in doing so, we come across all these other people
that absolutely
love your true self.
they love how organic I am, and I would never in a million years would have found that in myself if it wasn't for Victoria and this company. Just how I text you, I'm probably the only business owner you text and I say, hey, homie, what's up? Throw you little ghost emojis, 100% emojis.
You do use a lot of emojis.
Yeah. Because those are my emotions. I throw them at you. And that's how I act. I don't act differently for anybody. I don't look at the gender or anything about that. Hey, my name's Christian. This is my company. Woof, woof. This is what it is.
And you roll with it.
I roll with it.
Yep.
And people love it. And it's funny. I do know a lot of people that are just like, but then when Christian comes around, it's, hey, Christian, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? What's up? Totally changing their personality and they're smiling big and
Yeah. Because they feel like they can let their guard down.
yeah. It's
Because they know we're being our authentic self.
yeah.
So
I'm
go
not
ahead and
fake.
be yours
I don't
also.
lie, cheat, or steal. You'll never find that for me. If you break one of those things with me, we're not friends. And that's just how I live my life. And I thank Victoria for showing me all.
That's cool. It reminds me of there's a saying that people either are playing the status game or the wealth game. And when they like puff their chest
Yeah.
up, that's like a status,
Yeah.
right? This game. But to get out of the game is to not play.
No, yeah, literally.
Not play that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
we're
not playing that game at all.
I think that's where authenticity, when they feel you're authentic, is that they know you're not playing the status game. You're not trying to play the wealth game. Like, I'm trying to make money off you. I'm not trying to be comparing. Like, status is comparison, right? It's a game of comparison. But if you're like, oh, okay, I can let myself down too, because that's cool. That's how.
Thank you, man. It's been really cool, and I'm so grateful. My life is the most beautiful it's ever been. It's so cool, and
It's very surreal.
it's really
So
surreal.
Honestly, doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. It's
Which, cheers to many more years. Keep going.